Welcome back. Now that the dust has settled a bit on version 12 of FSD and we've made it to 12.3.4, it gives us a bit of time to reflect on the changes made, both good and bad. When it comes to FSD, version 12 has been an overwhelming success so far and has shown that trust in a neural network driven system that is being non-stop fed video footage may actually be the way to go. Having said that, the system, while much better than before, is still far from perfect and still susceptible to regression issues. In today's drive, I'm going to highlight some of those regressions in 12.3.4. My hope is that we see improvements in the next version and much faster than the previous regression revisions. Let's highlight some of those issues. Okay, starting off, we're going to go with a right turn here. The lights turn green. And you can see here's something that's actually gotten a little bit worse in 12.3.4. It's a little bit more passive when it's doing those turns. Even when I have it in assertive mode right now, you saw the wheel was shaking just a little bit there. It was clear, but still took a little bit of time. This is something I didn't notice when I first started driving the version 12 of FSD. I'm driving in assertive mode, and I'm trying to use assertive mode more when I'm driving on roads because I think it's a little bit more aligned with my style. The good thing is that with a quick toggle of the wheel, you can move between chill mode to average mode to assertive mode, so that's good to see. We're just going to be driving up to the highway right now, and if you can see right there, let's just pause that right now. If you can see there's a freshly killed raccoon there on the road, and I can't tell if FSD is trying to go around it a little bit, but I'm going to intervene quickly just because I don't want raccoon guts all over my wheel. I'd be interested to hear what your experiences are with roadkill or even small animals. I don't know if FSD would be, I think it would maybe dodge a dog. Would it dodge a cat? I don't think it would dodge a squirrel. And I definitely don't think it would move around roadkill. So I took over there because, again, I didn't want to get my car mucked up there. And there's quite a few dead raccoons in my area. So something I always have to keep an eye on. Okay, we're going to be getting onto the ramp onto the highway right now. I am judging to see how assertive FSD is moving into that right lane. Sometimes I can see it shifting a little bit in between lanes a little bit more on 12.3.4. It did a pretty good job on that. Move to the right lane. Looking at the turn right now, it always does this turn. Even version 11, it handled this turn very well. So no regressions there. Again, I'm looking at the speedometer. We are going to see how quick the acceleration is. FSD has famously always had issues with this ramp on version 11 where it would just keep driving straight even though the lane was coming to an end. But that was fixed in version 12. Let's see if that regressed. All right, now looking at the acceleration. Acceleration could be a little bit punchier right now. It's doing the advanced indication right there to the left, which is good. So it's moving across very well. And what it should be doing is moving off to the left lane. And you can see immediately it's moving over to the left lane. So that's a positive move there. We've got traffic on the right and the left. And let's see how long it takes to move into the left lane. Okay, we've got a vehicle coming up on the left. And I wanted to move there for a second, but didn't. I got another vehicle coming up, but nope. I guess because I'm in assertive mode, and you can see it really went for it when it moved into the left lane. Now there's an HOV lane that's opening up to the left, and I think this is another regression of 12.3.4. I think some of the mapping data is a little bit off on this version as well because it's not necessarily putting me onto the right street sometimes, and before in version 11 it would put me into this left HOV lane, which is the fastest lane, and I have access to that lane, but you can see right now it's keeping me right here in the left lane. The speed is 113, the speed limit is 100 on this road, so I'm okay right now staying in the left lane, but if there are any vehicles coming up behind me, I would hope FSD would put me into the middle lane. But what I think it's going to do is, as we speed up here and I move forward, is it moved me into the left lane, into that HOV lane, once it opened up. So again, that really is an issue because it should have done that straight from the beginning, and it didn't. Now that we're here, as you can see, it's performing quite well in the HOV lane. Let's speed up until we get to our next issue. Okay, we're coming to the end here. We're gonna have to get out of this HOV lane on the left and move over a couple of lanes, and I'm gonna have to intervene right now because this lane is coming to an end. If I stay on this lane, it's gonna take me onto another highway. In previous versions, FSD would actually move me over into this lane and move over one more as this lane is coming to an end. But I noticed on this version 12.3.4 it has not been doing that, so I'm going to ding FSD on that, and it's a little bit unfortunate that something like that would regress. As again, I'm not going to really test and wait until the last second because there's lots of vehicles around me, and it would make it dangerous if FSD was doing any last minute moves there. And this, I had a lot more issues with this in version 11, although this specific area, it seemed to do relatively well. But it's a complete no-go right now on 12.3.4, so hopefully that's fixed. As you can see, we've now got to Toronto traffic here, which is stop and go. So let's fast forward until we get to our next issue, which is a little bit of a doozy for me. Okay, I'm still in assertive mode right now, and I'm in the middle lane, so I'm looking to see if FSD is going to move us over into the left lane. Wait to see what happens right now. As you can see, look at the steering wheel. You see that sharp jolt? It doesn't look like it on camera, but that was a real significant change. You see me putting my hand up because I was apologizing to the driver behind me there. I don't know if it was because I was in assertive mode, but it like really had a tight spot there and quickly moved me over, and it was quite jarring there. So that was something that I didn't like, to the point where I instantly switched back to average mode right now. I think when I'm going to be driving in, traffic like this, where it's stop and go, I'll go in chill mode or average mode. I don't really want to be swinging in between lanes. There's no real need for that. But, that was probably the first time I've seen FSD on version 12 do something that I thought was a little bit dangerous. Now we're moving forward. We're getting closer to the city core. You can see the skyline there on the right. You can see the CN Tower. Our exit is going to be on the right in a couple of kilometers, so FSD is proactively moving me into the middle lane, and then when that solid line on the right opens up, it should probably move me over into the right lane. So far it's doing a good job with that. Overall in this drive, again, there have been some quirks, but it's been doing a good job overall. We have a vehicle in front of us there. We have the solid line. Let's see if it's going to indicate to go to the right. Oh, what it's doing right now, though, is for some reason it's going to put me into the left lane, which doesn't really make any sense because I'm going to have to get into the right lane to exit. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. Usually on version 12, what I've seen is making the right decisions there in regards to lane management, and it usually would put me into the right lane. See, now it's going to try to get into the middle lane. There's a vehicle there on the right, so it's waiting. So I'm really confusing these drivers behind me. I'm moving into the left lane. Now it wants to move me back into the middle lane and into the right lane. It's going to have to do it sooner than later. So now it's moving me into the middle lane. It's a little tight there, but it's getting me in there. So you can see the traffic's going at a pretty fast speed there. So you got to be very cognizant and very aware of what FSD is doing right now. It's going to have to pass this vehicle here on the right. Once it passes it, it's going to have to get me into that right lane. So let's see if it picks up the acceleration at all. No, still going about 92, 93. Now it's signaling to get me into the correct lane. So again, a little bit of unneeded drama there. If it just moved me into the right lane, it would have been the perfect thing to do. But again, noticing a couple of these quirks here on 12.3.4. What I'm going to be watching for is when I get off the highway right now, usually FSD on previous versions would do it at a very, very high speed, to the point where I'd have to disengage because it just felt uncomfortable. You're getting off on the ramp, you're doing a sharp right turn, and it just felt that the speed was not appropriate for the maneuver. So let's see how it goes now. Taking a look at the speedometer, it's going down. It's doing a good job there, so that's good. Good deceleration there, so that is much improved. And again, that's one of the hallmarks of version 12, is that it does a good job with these ramps, and much more natural on the driving. Keeping good distance there between the car in front of me. It's going to have to stay here in the right lane. So no unneeded lane changes, hopefully. Okay, doing a good job there. Just driving into the downtown core right now. And my destination for this location is actually on this street here, so it's still a bit a ways away. There's still some construction up ahead. We'll see how FSD manages that. Right now it's doing a good job here on the road. We're going to be coming up to a stoplight soon, so we'll see if it keeps me in this lane or decides to move me over. You can see the traffic is lining up there. going to be quite a bit of traffic. We've got a truck there. Let's see if FSD moves me over to the left or keeps me behind the truck. So far, oh, there you go. It's signaling and moving me over to the left lane. We have got a car moving there from the left. So it's slowing down for that. So I appreciate that. And I'm happy that it got ahead of that truck. So that was good. That's exactly what I would do. Oh, that's weird. So you can see there, it just slowed down when it got to the intersection. Again, I'm noticing some like funny behaviors on FSD on 1234 through intersections as well. I didn't see any pedestrian there. I guess I would have to keep looking back to see if there's any pedestrians, but I didn't see any pedestrians there, so not sure why it slowed in the intersection, but I've noticed that a couple of times. We're going to be going through another intersection relatively soon. It's a high traffic intersection, so we'll see if there's any issues with that. Lots of cars that are parked on the left. We've got the truck on the right. FSD is doing the right thing, keeping me in this lane. No need to be moving back and forth. Another reason why I don't have it in assertive mode right now. All right. Okay, went through that intersection confidently, which I like. All right, we're going to be coming up to a little bit more of a challenging intersection. There's a bit of a bend through that intersection, so let's see how FSD does that. Got some construction here on the left. No issues. Slowing down nicely for the car that's weaving in front of us. Speed is good. Again, confident through that intersection. That's good to see. All right, here comes that intersection bending through. Going through slowly. Oh, light's turning yellow. Want to see it push it a little bit? Okay. Got through that light all right. I was okay with that. You know, I almost wish FSD would sometimes not gun it through the light, but you notice that it's seeing the light turn, that it would just put a little bit more urgency behind that. You don't want it to do anything illegal or anything dangerous, and it's always cognizant of pedestrians, but with all these red light cameras, I get really nervous sometimes that I'm going to get stuck. All right, you can see there's lots of traffic ahead. Oh, you see this okay, we're going to stop right here. We've got a panhandler in front of us right now. And so FSD is staying back, just again sees him as a pedestrian. Just gonna wait there, wait for him to pass, and let's see if it moves up. Okay, yeah, doing the right thing. So now it's moving up to the front. Now that individual has passed, you can see the lane in front of us is gonna come to an end. The light has turned. You're just waiting here. See if FSD tries to gun it and try to get ahead of this individual, or if it just waits. Oh, last second pedestrian there running across. All right, here comes the green light. FSD is moving forward. Oh, yeah, doing a good job. All right, got me through there. All right, but as you can see ahead, I'm going to have to merge, so let's see how it manages that. All right, the cars are moving now. I'm just trying to see when FSD is going to signal me to the right. It's going through slowly. All right. I'm going to see if we actually can make it through this intersection before the light turns. All right, it's keeping me in lane. Looks like I won't have to merge until after I get past. We're sort of in between spot right now. It should maybe stop right now. Has me going through. And the light is starting to turn, so I'm going to have to put my foot on the pedal and gun it through there. So yeah, that was a tricky one for FSD because it had to get me through there. It didn't want to merge because there's vehicles there on the right, so got a little bit confused, but it still had enough space to get through that intersection. And I had to intervene there because I do not want to get a ticket, especially really downtown. There's lots of cops that are around for looking for people who are running lights or getting stuck in the middle of intersections. There's some big fines associated with that, so I had to take over. So again, this is a little bit just of that, it's a little bit of skittishness I've been noticing in 12.3.4 going through intersections. Sometimes it's braking, sometimes it just doesn't know whether to go or not, and I'm in these situations where I'm always kind of going through a yellow light when it's turning red. So I really hope that's something that they improve there in future versions. So as you can see, as fantastic as version 12 has been, it is still susceptible to regressions, even using this neural network. So hopefully on versions 12.3.5, they can improve some of that mapping data, some of the issues with being a little slow on the turns, and again, some of that skittishness going through the intersections. All right, now for the last third of this trip, we are picking it up from a residential neighborhood, still close to downtown, but maybe slightly less busy over here. FSD just came out of some fantastic parallel parking on the park assist there. You can see the car slowed down a little bit there for some reason. Not sure why. I didn't see any pedestrians there. Moving forward, we're going to have to turn left. Car moves comfortably into the right side of the lane, which is good. And it's going to have to look at both directions right now. We've got vehicles coming from both sides. Again, I'm just going to bump it back up to assertive mode right now just to give it a go and see how it does. You can see how long it's taking for those cars to pass. I actually would have thought it had a chance to go, but it was being a little bit cautious and definitely not as assertive as it was in 12.3.2.1. All right, sees it's opening right now, does the left turn. Left turns are smooth and pronounced, so that's good to see. That's still staying the same. That hasn't really regressed back. Good advanced signaling. Going to be turning here. I'm going to put it back into average mode now. Got a little bit more traffic. Going to be turning right. Lots of vehicles coming from the left. We've got the service vehicle here on the left. We've got to get past it. FSD inches the car forward nicely, but not too dangerous. It sees there's a gap and goes for it. Good acceleration there. Acceleration was excellent. Gonna have to get into the left lane and do a turn very soon, or into the left turn lane. All right, again, excellent signaling in advance. All right, waiting for the vehicle in front to go, and also measure to see how safe it is with the oncoming vehicles. We have a couple of vehicles. Okay, good job there. Waits till the vehicle is fully passed and then does a nice confident left turn. Onto a slower road right now. You can see the speed limit's 30, but because we've got some vehicles on the right there, might have some speed bumps. We have some cars driving in front of us. FSD is keeping us below 30 now. It's getting us a bit over, going faster. And I'm paying attention to this right now because of the automatic speed adjust. Sometimes what I'm finding is FSD is just, it's getting me going too fast on certain streets, and I don't want to get tickets there. So I'm cognizant of that. And while I appreciate that it can adapt and sometimes drive at the flow of traffic, just because this city has so many speed cameras now that I'm a little bit leery of that. So I am paying attention to my speed a little bit more than I should be. All right, moving up nicely here. Okay, those two cars are confused who goes first. No other vehicles. FSD does a nice full stop. Good acceleration going through. Wow, it really picked up the speed there. Did you see how fast now? Again, the speed limit here is 30, and it bolted up to 41 really quickly. I don't know why, but maybe because it was through an intersection and it wanted to get through it. But then it really has to scale back that speed. So that could be a little bit jarring. So I'm looking at that to see if that'll improve. It's moving forward here. Does a good job. Didn't get scared by that vehicle there on the right. Confidently goes through, so that was excellent to see. Speed right now is reasonable, 35 in a 30 zone. All right, we're gonna have to do a quick right and then left turn here. All right, good stop. All right, again, it can do that turn a little bit faster. I don't know why it's taking so long. This was something I noticed more in version 11, and when FSD 12, again, when FSD 12 came out, it was so much better. But if this 12.3.4, it's slowed down again. I don't know why it got more cautious. Feeding it the wrong videos. All right, we're moving on to a busy street right now. See, we really have to wait for our break here. inching forward. The vehicle's coming from both ends. All right, now we got a vehicle in front of us that we're gonna have to wait for it to pass, and there's a vehicle behind it as well, so we're stuck there. FSD is doing the right thing. It's not inching out much further. In previous versions, it would almost continuously inch out bit by bit, and sometimes for the traffic that was driving by, it could be a little bit scary. As you can see, it really should be going faster now. Again, if you're gonna make the turn, make the turn. You can see there's lots of time there. Now it goes for it. But that turn took a little bit too long. So hopefully that gets improved in the next version. That's too bad. Okay, we're going to come up to our last little quirk on this drive, and it has to deal with a pedestrian. FSD has done a fantastic job with pedestrian detection in version 12, specifically not being too scared when it sees a pedestrian. It's got a better sense of what its intentions are and not necessarily braking unnecessarily like it did in previous versions. If you look up there on the right, you're going to see a pedestrian. Look at my speedometer. It's going at 47 right now. Look at the pedestrian. Now the pedestrian's not really moving at all. They're just standing there. Having said that, they are pointed in the direction that they are going to cross the road, but FSD almost just comes to a full stop there, and this is a very busy street. I would like to think that FSD would be smart enough that it knows that that pedestrian was not crossing at that time. There is no movement. I know he was standing in the direction to make it look like he was going to go move, but again, this is something on previous versions of version 12, I noticed were better, but that time I don't think it did a very good job with that. I suppose it's better to be safe than sorry, but in that case, I wasn't really impressed with that. Maybe I'm getting spoiled on version 12. I'm just expecting too much in the pedestrian detection, but let's see if that improves in the next version. So that will bring us to the end of today's drive. Again, overall it did a good job, but what we are seeing is some regressions on 12.3.4 from 12.3.3, at least what I'm noticing. So if you're also noticing that as well, feel free to leave a comment below, or you can leave a comment and let me know if I was just being too harsh myself. Thank you again for taking some of your time out today to look at this video. I appreciate all your support. You all drive safe, and I'll see you on the roads.